welcome to this new edition of Restaurant at Home, the full course meal edition. As you can see, I've got some T-bone steaks that I have already seasoned up, just some regular salt and pepper. And what I'm starting off with is boiling water for my potatoes, which I'm cutting up here. Then after you get your potatoes cut, you want to make sure you get them rinsed off and drained properly. Well, I guess you don't have to drain them because they're going into the boiling water. So let those boil, and I'm getting my griddle set up, just like a little bit of grease, and I'm gonna spread that around with a paper towel. Just wanna make sure my nonstick surface is still a nonstick. So my potatoes are boiling. Go ahead and get some salt in the potato water. All right, so I'm just taking a regular white onion and I'm cutting it up because I want to smother my steak with the onions. But what I'm doing here is what's called a wedge cut, or what I think is called a wedge cut, where you make these little wedges out of the onion, and you want to go and get those all separated. Set your onions to the side for now, and here's what we call on with the steak. You see we've got the beautifully seasoned T-bones here that I'm putting on the griddle, leaving one side open. And now I'm gonna add probably about a teaspoon of butter, just enough to get the grill coated. You wanna spread that around because that's gonna make a nice little bed for your onions. Now once you get your onions on, you can go ahead and let those sit for a minute. You kind of turn your attention to your steaks. Now would be a good time to get those flipped over. They've probably been cooking for about a good 5 or 6 minutes on this one side. So now is a good time to get them to turn. And also you don't want to forget about the sides of the steak. These are pretty thick. Now all that means is just turn the steak on its edge for about 2 minutes or so. And then what I've done here is taken some garlic powder, mixed a little bit of that in with some butter, melted the butter in the microwave for like 10 seconds just to get it kind of soft and pliable, and get a nice spread of that on the side of the steak. Get a nice little beautiful caramelization and a nice little extra flavor to the sides of the steak. Also, if you've noticed, the onions are caramelizing up beautifully as well, so they're gonna make a nice little topping for my steak. Now, once you get the other side coated in the butter mixture, go ahead and let the steak cook for like another 6 minutes or so again. All right, and here we go. Look at that. Nice, beautiful coating on that side of the steak. Steaks are looking good. Onions are looking good. They're not too soft. They're not burnt. You want to make sure that you don't let your onions burn. All right, so what I'm doing here is testing the softness of the potatoes. You want to mash the potatoes, but you don't want them to be like mushy, like you're actually making like super mashed potatoes. I call these smashed potatoes. Getting my pan ready. I'm gonna go ahead and get the potatoes looking like this. Transfer the potatoes to the pan, cover them with cheese, and throw them in the oven. Now the cheese that I like to use is Asiago cheese. I might even use a little bit of heavy whipping cream in the potatoes mixture. Hit your oven to 350, let that cook. Now at this time, I've also got another pot on the stove with boiling water, and I'm gonna use this to steam my broccoli. I've also taken the steaks off of the grill and put them to the side to rest. I've actually turned the griddle off, as you can see the caramelized onions still sitting there. Now this is just a regular bag of frozen broccoli, and I'm gonna allow it to steam. Now, pay no attention to the bagel bites that you see here on the top shelf. My son doesn't like regular people's food. But the potatoes are ready. They look pretty, and I'm taking them out of the oven. And now here we have the plated project. The steak is already down, and I'm covering them with the delicious looking onions. Now, I've worked in restaurants for a very, very long time, and I'm kind of a stickler for how I like to present my food. So sometimes you might see me and I'm actually doing something at like the 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock and 3 o'clock positions. I've just learned that from years and years of working with food. So here we have the broccoli going on the plate. You can see that's nice and steaming hot. The steaks look beautiful. The potatoes look beautiful. And I guarantee you this is going to be a delicious meal. So thank you for checking out this episode of Restaurant at Home, and I will see you guys in the next one.